This is Subconscious Mind Mastery. Thomas Miller with a special podcast from the Traveling Microphone. And this one is time sensitive, so those of you catching this in January 2019, this is for you because there is a special event coming up the third week of the month here that I want you to hear about. Do you remember Amir Zoghi? We first met him in podcast 135 and then again in 153. Amir is from Australia and teaches an amazing program called the WTF Experience. But it's not that WTF. This one is the Wisdom, Truth, and Freedom Experience. And Amir has nailed something in this program that is so critical to your life journey and particularly your soul journey. Because what he teaches in the WTF program is the very essence of why we are incarnated in this journey on the planet. And I mean, he absolutely nails it. Well, he is doing a special online version, an abbreviated version of the WTF experience this January. And all the details are in this wonderful interview that he just did with me. And I wanted to get this out because you have to register for this. As far as the price goes, let Amir tell you about that. It's kind of special and you'll want to hear. It's right here in the interview. So let's head back down under where the shrimps are on the Barbie and the living is easy. Well, Amir, welcome back to Subconscious Mind Mastery.
Thomas, thank you. Thanks for having me back on. I really appreciate it.
Now, you've been flying and teaching flying, I guess, for a while, but now you're coming back with a new, updated WTF experience. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I've spent probably the last 5 years flying aerobatic planes, and I never gave up the speaking and coaching. I kind of just did little things. I believe we did we did an interview with each other a little while ago, but and I did a retreat once in a while. But anyway, long story short, I'm coming back to present the WTF experience, which is my foundation, my fundamental program. It's my signatory program. It's the one that's made the most impact. But I feel the times changed. You know, people have changed. I've changed. And where the WTF experience originally, it would be presented over 2 days, like a whole Saturday and Sunday over a weekend. Now I've been able to just put it into small bite-sized packages, small bite-sized sharings or presentations. So I think I can do that, and I did that. I did one last year, and it was very successful. And I think we can do that because people are more open to receive. So I feel we're at a place where I can deliver the content just straight to the point. Let's just get straight into it. This is what infinity is. This is what energy is. This is how you can live it.
I'm seeing that consciousness increase all the time in all kinds of places. People, it seems like there's been a shift in the interest in spirituality, but the kind of spirituality that people are interested in today is completely different than it was 10 years ago. Would you not agree?
I do. And I think it's, we started off with just things like visualizations or the law of attraction, and I think it's gone deeper and deeper, and people are now starting to question, well, hang on, who am I? Why can I do something like the law of attraction, or why can I visualize my life? It really comes down to who I am. See, for me, my background is I was involved in the personal development industry for over 10 years. And when I first started, I used to be a promoter. So I used to bring speakers into Australia. And I worked with people like Tony Robbins and John DeMartini and some of those guys. And but the thing that was missing for me all the time is like, yeah, I get it. And I feel it's true. Yeah, it's true. But why can't I live that? Why can't I live that in my everyday life where an opportunity comes and, or I have a hurdle and I feel it's possible, but then I just can't. You just get stuck in this hurdle and you can't live what you know. You know it's true, but you can't live what you know. So that's what actually started me on my journey. It was, how can I live this? And that's what the whole WTF experience has been about. It's that came to me because it was about the living of what you know is true. So I think that people are now coming around and going, okay, I'm open to all this energy stuff or breathing techniques or eating right and all that kind of stuff. But how can I then take that in my everyday living, in my finances, in my relationships, like everywhere, not just in one area? And that's where I personally found myself is I would master this one area. Some people master health. Some people master the relationship and the family living. Some people master the finances. But it's just, can you bring it in all areas of your life? And I think that's where the changes happen. People are now going, yeah, but I want to live this and I want to live it in all areas of my life. And some people will say it's not possible, but I say it is. It is possible. I mean, why are you here? Did we really come here to make a living while we're alive? I mean, we are alive. We are life itself, but we have to earn it. See, these are the questions that I went in my mind. I was like, it just doesn't make sense. There's a piece missing, and it's probably the most greatest piece on your path, and that piece is yourself. You learn about energy, you learn about different techniques and tools and different philosophies and maybe different religions, but ultimately what's missing and why you can't live it in your everyday life is your true self and who you really are, right? That without that key, none of those can come together so you can live it in all areas of your life. And you might just get to one point of your life and you're like, I mastered my health. But really, is that all we're here to do? Just master one point?
And this program not only teaches it points us in that direction, does it not, of how we can pull all that together, that one thing that it is all based on.
Yes, this program is all about you. It's about self-realization. It's about self-actualization. The greatest piece that's missing is you, and not just who you are when you think, when you look into the mirror and go, well, this is who I am. I'm standing in front of my mirror, and you might apply a technique where you say, I love myself. I love myself. And again, that's a tool or a technique that people will use in the path of spirituality on their journey to love themselves. But really, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about realizing who you are, realizing that you are love itself. You're not here to love. You are love, right? And when you realize who you are, you don't need to love yourself. You see, you're transcending that. So when you realize who you are, these tools and techniques that you have used to support you so far in your journey, you may use them, you may not, because I don't need to stand in front of the mirror and say, I love myself, because I feel love when I'm in the moment. I feel who I am as love when I'm standing here right now. When I do what I love, it's really what I love. It's not, well, I love to do this because it's going to get me the outcome and the results that's going to make me feel more recognized or appreciated, or people will approve of me, or I would have more security. You see, that's not really what you love, right? That's what society's told you to love. When you really are doing what you love to do, love becomes an everyday part of your being, and you're experiencing it in your everyday doing. I remember once I did a talk, Thomas, for a meditation group. And, so I'm here talking about consciousness and energy. And at the end, they asked me, so do you meditate? And I said, well, look, I tried when I was younger, and I kind of got into it. I did a 10-day silent retreat. I only lasted 4 days. It really hasn't been my path. I quit the silent retreat. I did meditate. I started. It was never my thing. I would find more noises, and so they got really disappointed, because here I am talking to a meditation group about consciousness, and they go, but you don't meditate. And I was like, but if I feel like I'm not being present, if what I'm doing is taking me out of being present, then I will need to meditate. I agree. But if I'm doing what I truly love to do, love's essence is the present moment. I am present. I am present in who I'm being when I'm doing that. So therefore, I'm not requiring to meditate. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I didn't say I'm not. Meditation is a very supportive thing. But I'm not, and it's not the only way. So, these guys were a little bit disappointed in me because I didn't meditate. But the point is, when you realize who you are, these tools or techniques or methods or methodologies that you've used, whether it's meditation or a way of eating, or you will do those because you love to, not because you need to. You will do it because it's part of who you are. You don't need to do it to become present. You already are present, and you're expressing your presenceness, if that's even a word. Your presence. You're expressing your presence in the form of meditation. I express my presence through talking, through sharing, through walking by myself. So it again shows that in the spiritual journey there is no right or wrong way. You do what you feel is true, but ultimately my message is the greatest piece that is missing is yourself. Here is your identity, the perception of who you are, and you're using all these tools and techniques in the spiritual world to find yourself. But ultimately, when you find yourself, some of those tools and techniques may become irrelevant. And then you just you live this. When you know who you are, you live this. You don't need to stand in front of the mirror and say, I love you, I love you. You are love. Love doesn't need to love itself. So that's the difference. I'm trying to distinguish the difference here for people. What is the difference when you're actually living this?
Now, this is timely because we are here in January 2019. Tell us about this redesign program. When is it happening? How is it going to be delivered? This is not, you don't have to travel to Sydney, Australia, correct?
Yes, that's right. So, I used to speak and share this program in a different city every single weekend. But times have changed, and this, I feel like the internet is a reflection of oneness itself, because it connects us. It doesn't matter what time zone you're in. Right now you're in America, I'm in Australia. We're in two complete different time zones. We could be in complete different days. You might be a day behind me. I think you are.
I'm a day behind and a season opposite you. I was skiing today, and you were probably on the beach or getting ready. But you've been on the beach this past weekend.
Well, absolutely. I was on the beach this morning. I went for a swim this morning. You're absolutely correct.
And I went snow skiing.
There's an example. Like, it's like we are experiencing different time zones, different seasons, different dates. Yet right now we're in one moment. And to me, the internet brings us together, and it's another reflection of oneness itself. So why not use that, right? So I've been able to put the WTF experience online now, live, and actually free as well. And did I not tell you about that?
Oh, that's great. Wow, even better.
Yeah. So this is a program that's continuously, when I first started sharing it anyway, it was free, and we're going back to that idea of letting it be shared for free. The reason why I went away from it being for free is because people would devalue it, right? They think to themselves, it's his teaser program. And I'm like, no. This is it. This is not my teaser program. Sure, I run retreats. Sure, I do coaching, and I have other programs. But this is not the teaser program. This is the fundamental. This is everything. And sure, if I do a retreat, I will draw from this program. But this is it. So that's why I went away from it being for free. But then I was just like, you know what? I really have this love to be able to share this where it doesn't limit someone based on their financial circumstances or the perceived financial circumstances, and all time. So you can be anywhere in the world, and we can do this program together. So it's on January 22nd, January 23rd, and 24th. It's over 3 sessions. The sessions are about 90 minutes long each. And I will be presenting it live, and I'll be presenting these core messages that will, again, get you to experience who you really are. I share these my sharings. People will start to feel what I'm saying. It's not an understanding thing. They will feel this part of them that maybe has been asleep, or maybe you just weren't aware of. It comes alive, and people feel that. So it's an experiential program. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though it's online, you're on the other side of the world. You will experience what's been shared. It's not a thinking program.
You know, when I met you a little over a year ago for the first time and went through your programs, that was the one thing that really stood out and I so appreciated is how much you live your life from feelings.
Yeah.
You just really flow, and that guidance is that connection to that intuitive source self, isn't it?
Well, that feeling is who we are.
Yeah.
The feeling is a feeling of aliveness. And when we don't have that, we are trying to do things that make us feel alive. But when you already feel alive, or when you're coming from the feeling, you feel expanded, you feel alive, you feel all these infinite possibilities, right? And you're living in the moment for the moment, and you're taking those steps. But the things that you do, it's without an agenda or an attachment, because you're not doing these things to feel alive or to feel safe, because you already feel alive and you already feel safe. So that feeling is who we are. And that's what I'm talking about, Thomas, when I'm saying the one piece that is missing is who we are. And it's that feeling. And most people cannot safely or continuously, consistently follow their feeling. They know what I'm talking about when I'm saying that feeling, because they go, oh, I've had that intuitive feeling and I felt to do this, but then I thought it wasn't the right time. And that's the thing. You see, love doesn't have reason. So when you feel that expansiveness, when you feel who you truly are and you feel moved to do something, you're feeling it because you already have it and you want to share it. And it's almost like you want to give it. Right? There's no agenda for that. There's no reason for that. Love doesn't have reason. So the people struggle to follow the feeling because they go, why am I following this feeling? Is it going to give me more benefits or drawbacks? They're looking, they bring the head into it. And the head is, the logical mind is an important part, because you use it for the things that you've decided upon. So people always say, how do you make a decision that's infinite? Well, for me, when I'm making a decision that's infinite, the decision's already made. I'm not deciding to do something, the decision's already made. So, and it's made and it's expressed. And when I say it's made, people go, well, are you saying we don't have free will? No, I'm saying the part of you that made that decision is your true you, is your true self. So you do have free will. It's just most people are not using free will, because when they feel to do something, I love to do something, I love to do, that they think to themselves, why am I doing it? And then they look for reason. And then they think to themselves, how can I do it? Right? And they start to go too much into the planning. Nothing wrong with planning, but there's a difference between you making a plan versus that feeling or that true self, allowing a plan unfold. It's very different. So that's the biggest reason why people can't follow that feeling is because they need a reason. But you're doing it because it's true. You're doing it because it's who you are.
You elevated my connecting with and trusting that feeling 100-fold through your programs. So I wanted to thank you for that. And yeah, you're bringing people right to that point of learning how to identify that and to live from that. It is a different way of living your life.
Yes, and it is. And first of all, thank you. I appreciate that, Thomas. It is a different way of living, but I just in case someone thinks I'm this mystical person wearing an orange robe, not that there's any wrong with that, riding a bicycle. I'm not. I'm just your everyday person. I'm an aerobatic pilot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a businessman. I'm a father. I'm just your typical guy, right? My point is, when you live this, you can bring this into all areas of your life. The things that are true for you, whether it's business or, competing aerobatics or, being an athlete, or it's not, to me, spirituality is bringing that feeling into your everyday life, whether it's being a father, whether it's, how you eat. It's bringing it into your everyday life. It's not, what I was trying to say to people here is that, because sometimes people think, well, this guy must be this real spiritual. They have this idea of what spirituality is, but no, I'm just an everyday person, just like you, right? Who has found the key or the ability to be able to follow that feeling and use that feeling and become it to manifest exactly the life that I love to live in an effortless manner. That's it.
So you're doing this at 11 a.m., I understand, on these 3 days, January 22nd, 23rd, 24th.
That's right.
11 a.m. Yes. Australia time. So that will be the previous day's dinner time for the United States.
Correct.
All right. So for those of you in Australia, January 22nd, 23rd, 24th. For those of you in the U.S., January 21, 22, 23, at around dinner time, depending on where you are.
Whether you're on the East Coast or West Coast, yes.
Now, these days, of course, it's hard to pin people down for 5 minutes, much less 90 minutes. If somebody doesn't make that exact live broadcast, will there be a replay?
We will send them a copy of that recording, but that copy will expire as soon as the event's expired. So, we've done this in the past where people were like, "Oh, I've got the copy and I'll save it there and I'll watch it in 2 weeks' time," and then it disappears, and they're coming back and went, "Oh, it disappeared." It only lasts for as long as the event lasts. The great thing about this event is we start together and we finish together. It's only over a week. I have a private Facebook page for everyone who's doing the program, so you can collaborate with other people, and I'll be there personally answering questions during the program. Yes, I'm live 90 minutes, but the other hours of the time when I'm not sleeping, I will be live on the Facebook page answering questions and doing live videos and just continuing the connection with the program. But the program only goes for a week. After a week, all the videos will disappear. I mean, if someone wanted to buy a copy, they could, but they disappear. So the idea is to stay up to date with the program. So yes, if you weren't able to make that live recording, the great thing about being live as well is there's a different energy when you're live, but also being able to ask questions live is pretty powerful. But if you did miss that one, we will send you a recording, and then the idea is for you to watch that recording that night or the very next day before you watch the next session.
And where do I go to register and those who would like to register with me? I'm ready.
So it's amirzoghi.com. So most people can't spell it, so I'll spell that out. So it's www.amir, AMIRZ, or you guys say Z, ZOGHI.
Very good. And I will have that in the show notes as well. Yes, .com. And I will have that in the show notes as well. This is fantastic, my friend. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And thanks for having me on. And you've brought an amazing people in my life as well. The last interview, we just spoke about this before. One of our greatest superstars that work with me right now, Leah, has come because she listened to our interview. So thank you.
Absolutely. Heard it on the podcast.
Yes.
That's how it all works, isn't it? It's all just a tapestry, and we're part of it together. So that's cool. That was really cool because you gave me something very valuable, and I didn't do anything, but you benefited. So that's great. I love it. That's awesome. All right, my friend, I will see you. I'm going to be a part of it. So I will see you there, and we will talk again down the road as well.
Fantastic. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it.
Guys, I think this is an offer from Amir and a program that you really should take a look at. If you did not get in on WTF last time, please catch this. I mean, look, it's free. It's online. It's shorter content, and it will change your perspective on a very key part of your life. That website, again, is Amir, AMIR, Zoghi, Z-O-G-I, that's all together, amirzoghi.com. It's also in the show notes. I got myself registered, so I will be playing along with you in the private WTF Experience Facebook group that is part of this registration. Thanks, Amir, for helping us enjoy our journey better. I'm Thomas Miller. Thanks for listening.